A powerful storm in the Midwest is expected to bring even more snow in the near future. Some areas could get up to a foot of snow by nightfall. The heavy snow is causing dangerous driving conditions throughout the Midwest. Dean Reynolds has more from Oak Park, Illinois.
An autumn blizzard blanketed the Midwest Sunday. Blustery winds and heavy snow swallowed parts of the I-80 and I-70 corridor, reducing visibility to zero and making driving nearly impossible.
We are literally driving and cannot see anything.
Accidents littered the roadways, while jackknife tractor trailers and disabled cars blocked highways and interstates.
You better have an extra dose of patience to get through all this. Between people just not making good choices and not being patient with not only the road but other drivers, get you in trouble every time.
In Kansas City, a tractor trailer nearly pitched off an overpass after sliding into the guardrail.
This is probably one of the worst I've ever seen in Kansas. You can't see in front of you. You cannot see where the roadway is at.
In Kansas, the governor issued a state of emergency. Interstate 70, which spans much of the state, was shut down.
We were supposed to be on an afternoon flight. We preemptively changed it to avoid the snow, and then we were stuck in traffic, so she still missed the flight.
At O'Hare Airport in Chicago, more than 800 flights were canceled, slowing one of the busiest airports in the country on one of the busiest travel days. Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel.
It's an all-hands-on-deck effort for the city. We have been here before. This is the first snow of this season, and as of this magnitude, it has a lot of unpredictability.
A winter storm warning has been in effect for the Chicago metro area, and some 170,000 customers have had to go without power. Meanwhile, the Coast Guard is warning people to stay away from the shoreline of Lake Michigan, where waves are reaching heights of 18 feet. Dean Reynolds, CBS News, Oak Park, Illinois.
And CBS News weather producer David Parkinson is tracking the forecast. David, what is the latest?
Well, Tanya, we are seeing that the snow is starting to move off to the east, so it's going to be a lake effect snow story for Tuesday into Wednesday, but we got to get through at least the next 24 to 48 hours, where some of the more populated areas in Ohio and potentially even in parts of Michigan could be seeing some snow. So in terms of how much snow we're taking a look at over the next, let's call it 24 to 48 hours, I'll put this map into motion. You can see the snow is done for the most part in the Chicago area. Detroit's probably going over to rain, but it's right here along the I-90 corridor where you'll get that lake effect snow from Erie up into the Buffalo suburbs. You might even get it in some of the Cleveland suburbs, and then again all the way up here into perhaps the mountains of the Adirondacks and right along some lake effect snow areas of Lake Ontario, and then it's into the Green Mountains where you could also be seeing a foot of snow there in the White Mountains as well. So it's a mountain snow, but if you take a look at the radar right now, you can see it's a large swath of rain that extends from Albany, New York, all the way back to Toledo, Ohio, and then all the way down to Washington, D.C. We've got a concern potentially as this rain moves up into the New York area that there could actually be some flash flooding during the afternoon hours. So there's a flash flood watch in effect. You can watch that as the storm pushes into New York and then on up into Boston. This is during the evening commute hours. So the evening commute's going to have some flooded roadways and certainly some delays out of the New York City airports. But then as we move into Tuesday, you'll see the snow will start to take over, right? You can see it's a little bit of rain right here along the shores of Lake Erie. That's going to go over to snow, and that's where you're going to be seeing some of those heavy snow bands into your morning on Tuesday. You can see right here along I-90 from Erie up to Buffalo, towards Rochester even as well. And then still snowing pretty heavily all the way up into upstate New York. So that happens there. And then as we go into Wednesday, this lake effect snow actually continues. You can see another 6-7 inches out of it there, but it starts to finally calm down outside of the mountainous regions and lake effect snow. So really, the most snow over the next 24 hours along I-90, that could make your driving an issue. And again, you could be seeing some flash flooding along New York, D.C., Boston this afternoon.
Sounds like pretty scary stuff. David Parkinson, thank you for that update.